بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف وجعلنا من أعوانه وأنصاره اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. We've been discussing different types of ni'mah because shukr is with respect to ni'mah. You show your gratitude with respect to the bounties that Allah has created. Yes? We said there are 16 types of ni'mah. And if we want to understand how much Allah has obliged us, we have to discuss all these 16 types, and each of them has branches, each of them depends on many other things, so we cannot exhaust it. إن تعدوا نعمة الله لا تحصوها. But this does not mean that we should not try to make at least an incomplete list. Otherwise, we may take many things for granted or we may overlook them. So when we say you cannot have a complete list, it doesn't mean that you should not attempt to have at least an incomplete list. Yeah? So it's very important for us to be thinking, writing down all the blessings that we understand. So now here we want to have examples, unmuzaj, like samples of the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, بيان وجه الأنموذج في كثرة نعم الله وتسلسلها وخروجها عن الحصر والإحصاء. Volume 7, page 192 of Al-Mahjjah. Volume 7, page 192. This chapter is about explaining a sample of multiple blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and how they depend one after the other and how they cannot be put in an inclusive and exhaustive list. اعلم أن جمعنا النعم في 16 ضربا. Please be informed that we included blessings in 16 types. وجعلنا صحة البدن نعمة من النعم الواقعة في الرتبة المتأخرة. One of these 16 was health of your body, which was one of the last ones because we have ni'mah of hidayah, all those things. But one of them is health of our body in order to enjoy, in order to continue, in order to function. فهذه النعمة الواحدة. If we just want to study health, it's not only one thing. You see, just Sihhatul Badan, that we sometimes thank Allah for Sihhatul Badan, is not just one thing. It's something which is possible to be divided into many, many things and requires many, many things. You just say, Alhamdulillah, I am healthy. You know how many things are needed for you to be healthy. how many types of organs function in us, and how many illnesses for each organ can be there, how much food you need, all these things. لو أردنا أن نستقصي الأسباب التي بها تمت هذه النعمة لم نقدر عليها. If we just want to count all the causes on which health depend, we cannot make a complete list. We cannot exhaust them. For example, one of the things that you need for your health is akl, eating. And now we just try to focus on eating. And you see, even eating has lots of branches. The Quran says, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءِ. One reason is this, because many people don't understand and don't know these things. But an alim, an educated person, when he or she thinks about blessings of Allah, has much wider range of blessings in his or her mind, and more grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لكن الأكل أحد أسباب الصحة فلنذكر نبذة من جملة الأسباب التي بها تتم نعمة الأكل. We only mention some of the causes by which we can eat. So health is one of the 16 types. Then health itself needs many things. One of them is akl. So we are now just trying to talk about akl as a branch of siha, health, which is a branch of blessing that we have received. Understand? ولا يخفى أن الأكل فعل. Akl, eating, is an action. وكل فعل من هذا النوع فهو حركة. Those who study philosophy, these days we are talking about haraka. So interestingly, he's talking about haraka, mawzu' al-haraka and all. So eating is a type of haraka because it's a gradual change. وكل حركة فلا بد لها من جسم متحرك. Every haraka needs a subject which is moving. We said we need 6 things for haraka. One of them is mutaharrik or mawzu' al-haraka. هو آلتها, that is the thing, the instrument that is moving. ولا بد لها من قدرة على الحركة. Mutaharrik, the one which is moving, needs power in order to move. وكل حركة فلا بد لها من جسم متحرك هو آلتها ولا بد لها من قدرة على الحركة ولا بد له من إرادة للحركة. Also, it has to be willing to move. So you need something to move, you need power to move, and you need desire and will to move. ولا بد من علم بالمراد. So if you will to move, you have a desire, so you have to know what you want so that you move. Also, in addition to having power and idrak and irada, you have to also have something to eat. وَلَا بُدَّ لِلْأَكْلِ مِنْ مَأْكُولٍ. Yeah, there must be something eatable. So, in order to eat, there must be something to eat. There must be power and will and idrak in that thing. There must be something also eatable. وَلَا بُدَّ لِلْمَأْكُولِ مِنْ أَصْلٍ مِنْهُ يَحْصُلُ. Then what is eaten must have also a root, an origin, where this comes from. وَلَا بُدَّ لَهُ مِنْ صَانِعٍ يَصْلَحُهُ. There must be, or يُصْلَحُهُ, also someone that makes that food. So, now we try to talk about different reasons for idrak, different causes for will, different causes for power, different causes for what is eatable. Very briefly, not in a very inclusive way. So just we want to say, for eating, we need so many different things to come together so that you can eat something. First, الطرف الأول في نعم الله تعالى في خلق أسباب الإدراك. The first group, the first party is about those blessings of Allah that come in creating the causes for understanding, so that we can understand. He says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala خلق النبات, has created plants, like vegetables. Vegetables are more perfect أكمل وجودا من الحجر والمدر والحديد والنحاس وسائر الجوار. Plants or vegetables are more perfect than non-living beings, like stone, clay, iron, this type of thing. So plants are more perfect because plants grow, yeah, but those objects who have no life, they don't grow. فَإِنَّ النَّبَاتِ. Okay, one of the things then which Allah has made available is that plants have the power to take food from their environment so that they can grow. فَإِنَّ النَّبَاتِ خُلِقَ فِيهِ قُوَّةٌ بِهَا يَجْتَذِبُ الْقَضَاءَ إِلَى نَفْسِهِ مِنْ جَهَةِ أَصْلِهِ وَعُرُوقِهِ. Allah has made these plants in the way that from their roots they can absorb food and chemicals and water that they need, and then they have like blood vessels that we have. They have also vessels for nectar, that what they call like rootels, rooters on the leaves, in the leaves, yeah. Veins, like veins, yeah. So like we have blood vessels, they have also veins, and it's starting with wide ones, then a small ones, then it becomes very, very, very small. Exactly like our blood system, this goes everywhere in there. هِيَ لَهُ آلَاتٌ. For nabats, for vegetables, these are instruments that they take their food. وَهِيَ الْأُرُوق. أُرُوق الدقيقة, very narrow, very small veins or like containers that go, and also then they are connected to the roots, and sometimes they are so small that you cannot see by your eyes. You need to put under, for example, microscope. But this nabat, which can take and absorb food and grow, has imperfection. إلا أن النبات مع هذا الكمال ناقص. What is the problem with nabat? The problem with nabat is, the nabat is more perfect than clay and stone. If there is no food or water where they are, they cannot go and get it. Therefore, they may die. They may dry out. إلا أن النبات مع هذا الكمال ناقص. Although they have this perfection that they can absorb and make their own food and grow, but they are incomplete because إذا أعوزه غذاء يساق إليه ويماس أصله جف. If there is no food that reaches its root and roots, they will become jaff. Jaffa and it dry. They dry out. ويبس. Yabes also means dry. ولم يمكنه طلب القضاء من موضع آخر. They cannot ask for food from another place or look for food in another place. فإن الطلب أنما يكون بمعرفة المطلوب وبالانتقال إليه. Seeking food needs two things. One is to know what you want. For example, you know there is water there. And to be able to move. Yeah? Nabat cannot understand that there is, for example, few hundred yards away, there is water. And also they cannot move. Yeah? And they don't have, this delivery facility to make a call and bring water. So they don't understand and they don't have ability to move or call. Yeah? Now you understand, we were saying the difference between haywan and nabat was haywan is hassas mutaharrika bil irada. That hassasiyah means idrak, and mutaharrik bil irada means they can move if they want. You understand? إن الطلب أنما يكون بمعرفة المطلوب وبالانتقال إليه. Seeking or looking for what you want needs معرفة and needs moving. والنبات عاجز عن ذلك. Nabat is incompetent, cannot do that. فمن نعمة الله عليك. One of the blessings of Allah upon you is that in addition to creating vegetables, but has also made you able to understand and to move. أن خلق لك آلة الإحساس وآلة الحركة في طلب القضاء. Allah has given you senses by which you can understand and also ability to move. فانظر إلى ترتيب حكمة الله في خلق الحواس الخمس. Look carefully at the order by which Allah through His wisdom has created our senses, our five senses, which are alatul idrak. These are the tools and instruments for our perception. The first thing is lamps, touch. He says touch is the first and the lowest of our senses. The easiest thing is touch. Yeah? Even maybe in children, the first thing they understand is through their skins before they can see or hear or taste or smell. I don't know if there is any scientists here. It seems by experience that the first thing is touch. They understand touch very quickly. Yeah? So, أولها حاسة اللمس. Touching. وإنما خلقت لك حتى إذا مستك نار محرقة أو سيف جاره تحس به فتهرب منه. This has been given to you so that if, for example, fire touches you, of course, doesn't need to touch your skin, but the heat of fire you can understand and run away. Or if there is a sharp, safe sword, you can sense and run away. It's very important. If you didn't understand, you didn't run away. Yeah? If you understood but didn't have ability to move, still was a problem. Yeah? We need both, to understand and to be able to move. In Jahannam, we understand the pain, but we cannot run away. That's the problem. And this is my understanding of this ayah. لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا. لا يموت فيها because he understands. ولا يحيا because cannot do anything to defend himself. If he was not able to understand, was good. And this is why they say ليقضى علينا ربك. نادوا يا مالك ليقضى علينا. They say, please tell your Lord to finish us. We don't want to understand this pain. But said, you must stay here. إنكم فيها ماكثون. But they cannot do anything. That's very bad. If there is something to annoy you, and you cannot do anything, you cannot run away, and you have to stay there. Okay? هذا أول حس يخلق للحيوان. The first sense that is created for حيوان, which becomes functioning in animals, is touch. ولا يتصور حيوان إلا وأن يكون له هذا الحس. There seems to be no animal unless they have at least this one. Maybe there's an animal that doesn't understand fragrance. Maybe an animal does not, for example, see. There are animals which are blind. But there is no animal that does not understand touch. لأنه إن لم يحس أصلا فليس بحيوان. If it doesn't have any hiss, because حيوان is حساس متحرك بالإرادة. وأنقص درجات الحس. The lowest level of sensation is أن يحس بما يلاصقه ويماسه. The minimum level of sensation is at least to sense something which is touching you, hitting you. If you cannot see something which is far, if you cannot hear, if you cannot smell anything, like, at least now that has touched you, you must understand. Yeah? This is the lowest level. فإن الإحساس بما يبعد من إحساس أتم. Why we say this is the lowest? Because to sense something which is far from you is more perfect. Yeah? If you have a sensor, suppose you are a machine or robot, you have different sensors. The sensor that understands things when they touch are the lowest. Yeah, the better one are those who sense from distance. Isn't it? هذا الحس موجود لكل حيوان حتى الدودة التي في الطين. Even worms in soil, they understand touching. He says, if you put a needle close to them, they understand. Maybe they understand light, maybe some of them don't understand light. Maybe, for example, they don't understand smell, but at least they understand touch. Okay? فإنها إذا قرز فيها إبرة انقبضت. If a needle is put inside, inserted in the body of one, it's closes itself. Yes, and wants to somehow protect itself. لا كالنبات, but plants are not like this. If you put a needle or even a nail, or if you start cutting the tree, there is no reaction. Yeah? Yeah, I mean, like sensation. Maybe there is chemical change, but you don't see they do anything to protect themselves. They don't react. Yeah, they let this work on them. Cut them. Yeah. فإن النبات يقطع فلا ينقبض. Is cut, but doesn't protect itself. Doesn't, for example, say, I want to close and protect myself. إذ لا يحس بالقطع إلا أنك لو لم يخلق لك إلا هذا الحس. But he says, Ghazali says, if it was only you and this sense, just touching was not enough. Like duda, like a worm. Worm has only this type of, for example, sense. It's not enough. Allah has given us more senses. For example, if it was just by touching, we were not able to look for food. لا تقدر على طلب القضاء من حيث يبعد عنك. You were not able to look for food when it's far. You could only understand food if it is near and touching you. Yeah. So, for example, if your body is touching water, you could drink it. But if it was 1 meter away, you could not understand. Okay. بل ما يماس بدنك. You were only able to understand what is touching your body. So Allah gave us another sense, which is to smell. أنك تدرك به الرائحة. You can understand a smell, fragrance. ولا تدري أنها جاءت من أي ناحية. But if you were just given a smell, you were not able to understand from which direction this smell is coming. فتحتاج أن تطوف كثيرا من الجوانب. Then you had to go around in different places, direction. Therefore, sometimes you were able to find the food, maybe sometimes you were not able to find the food. So Allah gave us another one, which is basar. And that is to see. With this, you understand what is far, and also basar gives you the direction. And it is interesting, for a smell, because the distance is little, you can go around. But for things which are far, the good thing is that we see and we have direction. Otherwise, we have to go 5 kilometers this way, 5 kilometers this way. Yeah, a smell is just few meters. But seeing, I can see kilometers. But I know what is, if there is food, and I know the direction. So you understand what is far, and you understand the direction. But if it was just this was not enough. If you had touch ability, a smell, and basar, still there was a problem. Why? because maybe there was a wall, there was a barrier. You could not see what is behind it. إذ لا تدرك بهذا ما وراء الجدران والحجب فتبصر غضاء ليس بينك وبينه حجاب وتبصر عدوا لا حجاب بينك وبينه. So if you didn't have except these three, if behind a wall or something, a curtain, there was something good like food or there was something bad like enemy, you are not able to see them, then you could not benefit from or protect yourself. But now we can hear also. So even if you cannot see the enemy, you can hear they are coming. Food also, sometimes you can hear, for example, you hear there is sound of an animal moving or a bird. You can hunt. And another thing is also this hearing has given us the ability to also listen to words, to a speech. Because we can hear, then a speaking has been made available to us. If we didn't have ability to hear, we could not benefit from a speaking. Okay? So this is another thing. This is something extra to animals. Animals can hear maybe, but they cannot have listening to language. Allamahul bayan. Yes, bayan is very important. Then another thing which has been given to us is taste. By taste, you understand what is good for you or not good for you. Normally, what is good has a good taste. What is bad has a bad taste. Normally, not always. Normally, a smell and taste are good direct, instructions. Normally. I know that sometimes there are some maybe medicines which are but these are normally artificial or not popular food. Anything in the nature which is good for us is normally coming with good smell and good taste. Okay? So, in order to have healthy body, we have to eat. In order to eat, we need to have food, but also we need to be able to understand, and Allah has given us all these 5 senses. But we also need to have hiss mushtarak, a common sense, because through different senses we get different data, but in our brain and then in our soul there is a place that connects them. What you smell and what you taste, something should connect them to each other. How you understand that this taste is the taste of what you have eaten or what you have seen? There is one section in our soul that connects them with each other. Allah has given us that as well. Then, in addition to this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has also given us aql, intellect, above these 5 senses. And this is to understand harm of the food, benefits of the foods. He says, مَيَّزَكَ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى وَأَكْرَمَكَ بِصِفَةٍ أُخْرَى. Allah has made you equipped with another quality, هي أشرف من الكل, which is more honorable than all these five senses, وهو العقل, better than five senses and better than حس مشترك. This is عقل. فبه تدرك مضرة الأطعمة ومنفعتها. With this you can understand what type of food is beneficial, what is harmful. You can study, you can investigate, you can learn from other people. وما يضرك في الحال والمآل. What is harming you now or in future? Animals don't have any sense of future, in the sense that they plan for future. You know, for example, when you see ants collect food for winter, maybe you think they know future and they are preparing themselves for future. But it seems that they don't have sense of future. Right now, they know that they have to do this. But if you interview them and say, what are you doing? What type of winter you are expecting? You know, how much food you are going to need for your winter? They say, let me carry on. Don't ask me these questions. Yeah? I just know that now, by instinct, I have to collect these things. Okay? It's not like us. We have a sense of future. And we can think about our future. We can work for future. We can prepare for future. But they may do something right now that we interpret it as they are saving for future. Okay? No objection? Pardon? Yes, we had it in Akhlaq, perhaps. Yes. ما يضر في الحال والمآل. You understand what is harming now or future by aql, and animals don't have aql. وبه تدرك كيفية طبخ الأطعمة. With aql, you understand how to make food. If you look at animals, they don't have the diversity that we have in food. Different cuisines. Yeah? Maybe, depending on the environment, there is diversity. For example, a bird of the same type in two different environments, maybe they make different food, but there is no diversity. It's just based on what is available for them. They make good use of it, but there is no diversity. You know, we are so particular about our food that for us, it's not just a matter of eating. A great sense of, or part of our pleasure comes from food. Yeah? Animals take it very simple. They are very practical. Just they want to feed themselves. But for example, you know, read books how to make this type of cake or, you know, that type of dish. This is not what they do. به بالعقل means, he means بالعقل. تدرك كيفية طبخ الأطعمة وتأليفها, and how you put them together. وإعداد أسبابها, and to prepare. You know, sometimes I wonder, some types of food, how the first person understood this. And I think maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired them. For example, olive. Olive is very bitter, you know, and you have to, for several months, maybe put them in water if you don't process them with some chemicals. Well, it takes few months. You have to change water. So how they understood that this has this potential and they kept changing water? Sometimes say maybe was by accident. For example, some olives were in river and for a few months and they saw it's. But sometimes I think maybe Allah put in their mind that if you do this in this way, you can make a good, food. Because some of them are very difficult to understand, some of the ways that we have to prepare things, or for example, how to make rice, for example, it's very difficult. For the first time, when you copy other people or imitate, it's not difficult that much, but who for the first time, for example, to make bread like this? Who understood that we should make bread like this? Maybe someone was inspired. Or maybe prophets taught them.
We see in the life of Prophet Idris, he taught so many things.
Yeah, yes. So someone was inspired and maybe then he taught other people. فَتَنْتَفِعُ بِعَقْلِكَ فِي الْأَكْلِ. So you benefit from your aql in eating, which is sababu sihhatik, and eating is one reason for your health. And this is the minimum benefit of aql. The minimum benefit of aql is that you use it for finding what is good food for your health. But the greatest benefit of aql is ma'rifatullah wa ma'rifatu af'alihi, to understand Allah, to understand His actions, wa ma'rifatul hikmah, and also to understand the hikmah in His alam, in His creation, in the universe. So he says, hawas khams, these five senses, kal jawasis, they are like spies, like eyes for you. With these five senses, you understand what is happening around. Wa ashabul akhbar, these are people who inform you. Al muwakkalin, like you have different people, sensors or eyes to give you information. And every one of these has its own mission. قد وكل كل واحدة منها بأمر تخصه. You commission each of them with a particular task. What you expect from your eye, you don't expect from your ear. What you expect from ear, you don't expect from your, for example, tongue. Yeah? Is it clear? واحدة منها بأخبار الألوان. One of them, for example, informs you about colors. One of them informs you about sounds. One of them about smells. One of them about taste. One of them informs you about cold and weather, cold and hot, for example, weather, softness, hardness, this type of things. They collect all the information, they send it to the Hisse Mushtarak to put them together and process them and give you information. And then they go to the brain, which is at the service of your soul, to make all the judgments that you need. And then based on this information, you move. You move towards what you need. So, this is very, very brief explanation of how we have been given ability to understand and find what is beneficial, what is harmful. But as we will say, each of them has lots of other branches. The second type is blessings of Allah fi khalq al-idrakat. This one was blessing in khalq asbab al-idrak, how you understand. But here, about your senses, your sensations, about your experiences. For example, لو خلق لك البصر. Suppose you were given vision. حتى تدرك به القضاء من بعد. قضاء من بعد. You were able to see that there is food there. But if you were not given desire for food, the result was again that you would not benefit. So whether you are not able to see a food which is in distance, or you are able to see but you don't have desire, the result is the same. You know, some people when they become ill, even if you bring the most delicious food, they don't eat. They say we don't have desire. Yeah? So if you had basar, but لم يخلق لك ميل في الطعام وشوق إليه وشهوة له تستحثك على الحركة لكان البصر معطلا. If you had vision, but you didn't have desire, you didn't have appetites, this vision was mu'attal, means suspended, means useless, was not able to move you. فكم من مريض يرى الطعام. There are many ill people who see the food. وهو أنفع الأشياء له. This food is the most beneficial. But قد سقطت شهوته, has no appetites. فلا يتناول, so he doesn't take this food. فيبقى البصر والإدراك معطلا في حقه. So his sight and his sensation is not working, is useless. Therefore, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in addition to giving us these senses and aql, has given us also desires. Desires for something which is good for us, or dislike to what is harmful for us. These positive and negative inclinations are very important to motivate us to move or run away. فاضطررت إلى أن يكون لك ميل إلى ما يوافقك. So you are in need of desire or inclination to what is useful for you. تسمى شهوة. This is called shahwa, appetite. Or نفرة أما يخالفك, or dislike with respect to what is not good for you, which is called karaha. Karaha is opposite to shahwa. Karaha, asa an takrahu shay'an, means dislike. Karaha, makruh. فَخَلَقَ اللَّهُ فِيكَ شَهْوَةَ الطَّعَامِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created in you desire or appetite for food. وَسَلَّتَهَا عَلَيْكَ, and also has made it dominant. If you don't give enough food to your body, this desire becomes so strong that move you toward the food. Many of us, if even we know that we need food, but if we are busy with something, we may not eat the food. For example, we know that our body needs exercise, but how many of us do exercise? We don't do exercise. Why? Because just understanding by aql is not enough for every person. Yeah? With respect to food, not only we understand by aql, we have also desire. So you may tell me, then why Allah didn't give us desire for exercise? What's the answer? No. Yes.
Because food is necessity for survival.
Desires are for those things without which we cannot survive. Because if he was going to give desire that strong for everything, then we would not see who is rational, who is not rational. But for certain basic things, he has put desire and pain. For one is like food. And also It can be for individual, or it can be for continuity of human generation. You know? So if there was no desire towards marriage, a kind of attraction, and you were just aware that you have to marry, many people would not marry. As we see today, some people don't marry, although they can. Yeah? Because intellectual understanding of need is not as pressing as physical pressure. You understand my point? Yeah. Many people, many of us, have deep desire for doing something, which is very important for us, but because there is no physical pressure, we don't do it. And when we become thirsty, even 1 cup of water can take us 5 floors down to drink water. Salatul Layl cannot take me few meters away, but a cup of water makes me restless till I go and drink. Why? For 2 reasons. One is because water is basic, and if you don't drink, you can die. Secondly, because if for everything there was such a pressure, then you were not tested. The value of people is based on the response they give, not to the basic needs. The response they give to those needs which are advanced, but they are so patient that they don't pressurize you. Okay? So, this is the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has designed things. Of course, as much as we understand, there's much more to it. فَخَلَقَ اللَّهُ فِيكَ شَهْوَةَ الطَّعَامِ وَسَلَّطَهَا عَلَيْكَ. Allah made it dominant, sulta. This shahwat, this appetite for food has some control over you. وَوَكَّلَهَا بِكَ كَالْمُتَقَاضِي الَّذِي يَسْتَرُّكَ إِلَى التَّنَاوُلِ حَتَّى تَتَنَاوَلِ. It's pressurizing you till you eat. Doesn't let you. Yes? هَذَا مِمَّا يُشَارِكُكَ فِيهِ الْحَيْوَانِ. Animals also have this in common with us, but not nabat. Plants, they don't have this. Plants, they don't have, because they cannot do anything.
Spread their roots.
Pardon?
In search of food, they can spread their roots in the soil.
Yeah, but very limited. Very limited. Of course, in some series of lectures on life, I have explained that in my understanding, in any form of life, there is understanding. But it is so little that you think they don't understand. I believe there is no life unless there is some understanding and some will there. Even a tree wants to protect itself, but very limited. But you cannot take zero. ثم هذه الشهوة لو لم تسكن إذا أخذت مقدار الحاجة أسرفت وأهلكت نفسك. When we have this desire, appetite for food, if you don't stop at a certain limit and just keep eating and eating and eating, do excess, it can destroy you, it can kill you, it can make you eat. And it says plants are not like this. If you put a plant next to water, it takes so much that dies. They are not able to say, this is enough for me and I don't take any more. But animals, after taking enough, they feel full. They feel they don't want anymore. Yeah? This is good. So you have appetite till you need. After some time, that appetite is over. Okay? But what we do, we add some, for example, I don't know, pickles and some, yogurt and, some spice. So we make it double. But still, after some time, hopefully we stop. Muawiyah, they say, was not stopping because he was cursed. And he was just eating and eating. So, هذه الشهوة لو لم تسكن إذا أخذت مقدار الحاجة. This appetite, if it doesn't relax, تسكن, sukun, means to come to rest. Yeah. If this appetite doesn't relax, when you take what you need, أسرفت, then you do excess. وأهلكت نفسك, and destroy yourself. فخلق الله تعالى لك الكراهة عند الشبع. So Allah has also made for us, when we become full, shaba. You feel satisfied. You feel you have had enough. Sometimes you go to restaurant and the most delicious food you order, but after some time, even you are not happy to take one more bite. Yeah? If you eat, you suffer. And you don't eat, also you suffer. Yes? So here is where you ask for a container. You take one. Okay. Yeah, I have experience in it. So Allah has created in you this karaha so that لِتَتْرُكَ الْأَكْلَ بِهَا, you leave eating. لَا كَالزَّرْعِ, not like plants. فَإِنَّهُ لَا يَزَالْ يَجْتَذِبُ الْمَاء, they constantly take water. إِذَنْ صَبَّ فِي أَصَافِلِ, when water is put under this tree, they take حَتَّى يَفْسُدْ, till it becomes corrupt. فَتَحْتَاجْ إِلَىٰ آدَمِيٍّ يُقَدِّرُ غِذَاءَهُ بِقَدَّرِ الْحَاجَةِ. This is why plants, trees, they need a human being who would measure how much they need. We need to take care of them. If we give them too much water or too little, there is problem. You have to look after them. فَيَسْقِيهِ مَرَّةً وَيَقْتَوْ عَنْهُ الْمَاء أُخْرى. Sometimes water, sometimes doesn't give water. وَكَمَا خُلِقَتْ لَكَ هَذِهِ الشَّهْوَةِ حَتَّى تَأْكُلْ فَيَبْقَى بِهِ بَدَنُكَ خُلِقَ لَكَ الشَّهْوَةُ الْوِقَاعِ حَتَّى تُجَامِ. In the same way that we have appetite for eating to save our health and body, also we have been given desire for marriage, so that our generation can continue through our progeny. And then he talks about so many ajaib, wonders in the creation of womb, how womb of a mother is created and is prepared, and then how the embryo is growing. All these things, all are things that we need for our healthy body. And he says, we are not now able to exhaust all these wonders in the creation of human body. We just refer to them. So, he says, we are just talking about ni'matul akl, and you see all these are needed and related. فإذا شهوة الطعام أحد ضروب الإرادات. One types of desires and wills that we have is appetite for eating. فإن كل أحد يشتهي ما في يدك فتحتاج. The next thing is you also need, in addition to understanding what is good for you and having appetite for that, you also need to be able to defend yourself against people who want to take away your food. Yeah, we need a kind of defense as well. Suppose you have found very good food, you have appetite for it, but a bird comes and takes away your food. Yes? So if every time this happens, then you will die. Yes? Of course, they will also die if they eat what we eat. So it's better we keep some for ourselves so that we don't die fast. فَإِنَّ كُلَّ أَحَدٍ يَشْتَهِي مَا فِي يَدِكَ. Everyone likes what is in your hand. فَتَحْتَاجُ إِلَى دَاعِيَةٍ فِي دَفْعِهِ. So you must have a desire for keeping them away. وَمُقَاتَلَتِهِ. And if needed, you fight over it. You know, sometimes people fight for water. Yes? وَهِيَ دَاعِيَةُ الْغَضَبِ. Anger. Anger, as a faculty in Akhlaq, we said anger is not always bad. To be angry without reason, or to become extreme in faculty of anger, that's the problem. But if you have no anger at all, it means that you cannot defend yourself or family or country, or we need to have measured anger. Not too much anger and not too little. Yes? Of course, to find the balance is very difficult. Yeah? Most of people are going to excess in anger. Some people maybe to extreme from this side. But very, very rarely you find people who are balanced. It's very difficult. You have to be controlling your anger. So, anger is also needed. ثم لا يكفيك هذا إذ الشهوة والغضب لا يدعوان إلا إلى ما يضر وينفع في الحال. أما في المآل فلا تكفي فيه هذه الإرادة فخلق لك إرادة أخرى مسخرة تحت إشارة العقل المعرف للعواقب. If you have just appetites and desires for what is good for you and anger to protect, this still was not enough. Because anger and appetite are for something which is right now in front of us, or is happening, or is going to happen. In addition to this, Allah has given us aql to think about future and prepare for future. Yeah? For example, you have had just your breakfast. Right now, you don't have appetite for food. But from now, you have to work, because when it becomes, lunchtime, you are hungry, then the food must be ready. If we didn't have aql to tell us that you have to prepare, then what would have happened? If we didn't have aql to prepare in advance, what would have happened? Either you will be hungry or you will always have instant food. Yes? Because Aql tells you to prepare. Sometimes to have instant food is good, but if all the time you don't do anything, just the time of food comes, you say, I should eat something. It's a problem. You have to prepare it. Yes? Oh, time is over. So, let me just finish this book and then we go. Okay. So, Allah has given us another irada through aql that helps us to prepare. So, just understanding is not enough. We need to have irada. We need to have desire. We need to have motivation. And then, inshallah, we'll talk that in addition to that, we need also to be able to move and get what we want. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all His blessings and for everything that we need in order to receive His blessings. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.